Now, running through, there we go. So, dreadful resolution, but you get the idea. Margate FC, their pitch used to be right into the middle of dreamland. This is a naughty story. I'm going to be quick with it because I'll get into trouble with the police. Anybody familiar with Fata Morgana, where the ship floats, a mirage? You'll see it across the coast of Margate. I've got photos on my phone over there. That's there, and what it's likened to is the myth of the legend of the Flying Dutchman. So the Flying Dutchman was, if ever delirious sailors saw a ship floating above the water, as we see here, but also in the modern day there, they would say that it wasn't that they were delirious, but that it was the ghost, and that was the legend of the Flying Dutchman. Now, we're going to come through. Any football fans in the room? Couple, yeah? Right, okay, good. You'll kind of follow me on this one. Right. This chap on the left, possibly here we go, I'm going to wind you up here, Dom. Best footballer ever to play in England. I'm an Arsenal fan. Best footballer to play in England. Won every award. Basically, they said he was so graceful his feet didn't touch the ground. If he played in snow, he wouldn't leave any footprints. His nickname, the Flying Dutchman. That's Arsenal's Flying Dutchman in the modern era. This chap is Gerrit Kayser. Which team did he play for? Margate FC, right? Here we go. 1920s. His nickname back then was the Flying Dutchman, but for slightly dubious reasons, which I'll probably get in trouble with the police for, but we'll explain in a moment. So, Gerrit Kayser was taken on by this legendary football manager that I mentioned. There's the Arsenal manager at the time, Herbert Chapman. See there with the trophies, very progressive. They say that he's one of the most progressive thinkers ever and won pretty much everything at one point. He was legendary for being the first manager in the UK to give black players a fair chance. This is Walter Tull. He was one of the first people of black origin to reach the senior ranks of the British Army in the 1910s, so it's about 1911. Commemorated in Northampton, there's a statue of him. There's Herbert Chapman there in his younger years, and you can see there's Walter there. So again, legendary figure, Herbert Chapman. Turn the clock forward 10 years. He wants to make another bold move and sign Gerrit Kayser of Margate FC, the Flying Dutchman that we just saw. Now, Margate and Arsenal were nursery clubs. They were twinned at the time. What happened, they used to send their young players to Margate. They'd have a bit of fun and a few years here and then come back to Arsenal. This chap, Gerrit Kayser, I've deliberately chosen a photograph of him not being very good because he wasn't actually very good as a goalkeeper. This is the problem. He went to Arsenal. He was there for 3 years. He only ever played 8 games, and in each game he let in several goals, and they said he was terrible. So it was a bit like everybody's kind of scratching their heads as to why was he at Margate for so long, and why was he at Arsenal FC for so many years on like the payroll without actually being proven as any good? Well, this kind of explains it. If anybody can see the similarity in the designs here, you've got the Arsenal shirt historically as the red and white, and that's what it looks like today. When Gerrit Kayser was at Arsenal, he used to take the red and white shirts over to Amsterdam, and they were adopted by a very famous team called Ajax Amsterdam that you'll be familiar with. Gerrit Kayser had a habit of playing for either Margate or Arsenal on a Saturday, jumping on a plane to Amsterdam. This is 1920s, jumping on a plane to Amsterdam every Saturday night and landing in Amsterdam and playing for Ajax Amsterdam on the Sunday. And then he popped back on a weekly basis. A few years down the line, he got found out smuggling banknotes in footballs that he'd taken from Arsenal from the Netherlands, from London to the Netherlands. But I think that's just the tip of the iceberg, people. May I point out that the medicinal cocaine and opium trade in the 1920s was at its peak, and it very much was the capital of, there was a sort of spin-off black market around it. So when they call Gerrit Kayser the Flying Dutchman... Anyway, please, you didn't hear me. Right.